Hey, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how I am working to mount this crossbar, which is for a Freedom Launcher landing gear, to my Old Town Sportsman's PDL 132. So the cross member is a piece of aluminum tubing with some attachments on the end. It's been pre-drilled to give me the kind of angle I want, and so you'll notice that it's not cut straight. It's been angled at 10 degrees from perpendicular in order to kind of tuck the legs a little bit more, I guess, flush with the gunnel or the sides of the kayak. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of show you what I'm doing and walk through this. This is the first time I've attempted it on a boat like this, so I'm going to be taking some notes and just trying to figure out how it's going to work best to get this baby on there and get it secure so that I can attach the brackets and the legs and get ready to roll it into the river. So here we go. So first thing I did is I just took some like drawer padding and cut it. I had some extra sitting around. It's just kind of sticky. It's going to help this bar from sliding around, I think, too much, so that I can kind of get it about where I want it to be mounted. You can see that you know, like I took off the rod holder off one side because I think it'll be easier to have access from that location. Now what I'm using are the no lift regular mounts. You can see that there's holes in the mount, and I'm going to be drilling through those two holes to attach this bracket to the cross member, and then these holes on the ends drill into the kayak. Now the nice thing about this bracket, as you can see, is that's about 6 inches side to side, which allows this bracket to absorb all the torque, a lot of the torque loads, and distribute it over a wider length. This way, it's going to be a lot softer on the hull than other competitive systems. I think it's going to work out really great here. Now, what I've decided to do is try to move this bar about as far forward as I can, but still leave access to this particular rod holder. It's like, hey, they built it there. Although, you know, yeah, the rod holder's going to be here. My leg's going to be there. It's going to be a tight fit, but it might work. I don't know. We're going to have to see. If not, maybe I'll push it even further forward than that. Now what I like about this particular location is there's a lot of curvature to the plastic, and so it's going to be able to take a vertical load because of this angled face right there. And so I really like the idea of like having the mount like right about there, but I can see that that's probably going to interfere with this bracket, but I'm not so worried about that. I can slide that back a little bit more like so, and really I'm right about at the edge right there. All right, I'm debating whether to actually use the slot right here. It'd be a nice location point. And then what happens if I put the rod holder back in? I'm going to pause the video right now, mess around. I'll come back in a moment. Hey, okay, so I've kind of taken a look at things, and I think I figured out I'm going back to where I thought I'd go at first, which is give myself an easy place and leave these rod holders intact. I'm going to go right there at this location, right about in the center of this little webbing right there, and that's going to put the rear hole right in the center of this. And so I'm going to go ahead and just drill through that in two locations. So I'm going to drill one hole here and one hole through this bracket, and that is going to allow me to establish a location for this cross member forward and aft on the left side. I'll do the same thing over there. So what I'm going to do is just kind of eyeball like the center line of that spot right there, and I want the hole to be right about there. It's pretty close to the middle. Do the same thing over here. Okay. I should be able to see that. About like so. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some clamps to kind of hold this right in place while I get out my 1/4-inch drill bit and drill 4 holes. Just a minute, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back with my drill, and I'm gonna go ahead and just put the first hole in right here. That was easy enough. Now what I'm going to do is just keep that hole location pretty constant, so that then as I drill through the back bracket, the distance will be maintained forward to aft. All right, it's easy enough. Now that will be my left one, so go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Reach back and grab another 1/4-inch bolt just to keep that relatively constant. And I'm just eyeballing this to be kind of in line with the slot, just to have some sort of reference. You can see that there's plenty of room on the other side there, and just go ahead and pop another hole in right there. Okay, good. All right, so now with those there, we're going to temporarily go ahead and just snug these babies down. So that we have a fixed location for these to then measure and get this square with the world, kind of jam it in place, and then drill the holes and attachment points to the kayak attachment bracket. Okay, back, and I think in order to have these bolts really be in continuity of design with everything else, I'm going to be using the stainless steel 1/4-inch, 2-inch bolts, front and back here, to secure the kayak brackets to the kayak. In order to have access to the nut and the bolt, I'm going to see if I can actually just take this rod holder out on the right side, as like I have on the left, and that will probably be my access point in order to be able to get to that location as well. So it should be pretty clean, really. All right. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to be just temporarily snugging this down While I'm getting ready to locate and permanently mount the kayak bracket to the cross member. So it's kind of a 1-2 punch. And it really doesn't even matter which bolts I use in this exercise because I'll be replacing them. Now this is a little bit tricky. I'm going to use not going to use the nylon inserts in this particular step, just because I know I'm going to be taking these bolts out. We'll go ahead and get this snug down though. I need to get my 7/16 what might be better. Well, that snugs down pretty nicely, actually. No. All right. I'm happy with that. Definitely want to put at least a washer, if not a... there's really not much room for more than a washer under there. So, take that out. Just holding that nut up against the plastic, and it's actually kind of digging in, and it just needs to be kind of finger tight right now, just to keep this bracket basically in a good position. I definitely think, yeah, you can see that this will go back in there very nicely and provide easy access to the rod holder. I think it's going to work. I think it actually, that rod holder is going to just be fine there. I'm really curious to see how it's all going to work out. So these temporarily are in place. They're pretty solid. And so the next step is to go ahead and kind of brace this up against the bottom of the horseshoe, the inside horseshoe here, so that we get it basically square with the world, square with the craft, and about even side to side.